Alright, hello everybody, this is Chris Moon, and today I'm going to talk about how I made my song Mind Over Matter. This is track 2 off of my EP. What's it called? You guessed it, Swamp Walk. Mind Over Matter was made back in 2019 with my friend Kian, aka Sugar Pit. Oh, what? Sugar Pit. Man, with Sugar Pit right here, boom. Sugar Pit, very pixelated. Now, Keen and I made this song as a part of our capstone project for our college. We made like an EP together. Now, Mind Over Matter was not called Mind Over Matter when we made it back in 2019. It was actually called Pink Panther. Keen laid down the blueprint for this song back in 2019. He played this guitar loop for me. I'm going to play it for you right now. He got that guitar loop with this bass line. And these drums. Something about that guitar line just felt very mischievous and conniving, like something a silly, clumsy spy would do. I'm going to play the guitar, bass, and the drums. And I'm going to pull up these pictures. Now tell me you don't get the same kind of mischievous, sneaky spy kind of vibe, okay? Do you know what I mean? Like, something about this guitar line just reminded me of like Steve Martin. Just trying to fix a problem but end up creating like 100 more problems. Just this like picture... Inspector Gadget, like the spy versus spy. It just kind of painted this image for me, and this kind of like where we based everything for the song from. This is what Pink Panther sounded like when we made it around 2019-2020, with an unreleased verse from my good friend Jared, aka Fatback Bastard. I also have some footage of us recording the song back in 2020, which is really cool to see after all these years. Check it out.
I feel it on a summer's night. The more I talk about it, I see it coming when you see it before it goes.
I can see all of the pics in the charts and it shows. How can you tell me you sober when you like compose? You got your shit on the side of above and below you.
Sleep up, face the reaper. Sold my soul, but that's my man, so he get it for cheaper. The same scuffed up sneakers. They move silent, so it's hard for y'all niggas to follow the leader. It's all smoke and mirrors with you niggas. I see through it. I'm a genius at work. Y'all need to pay me to do it.
I just been playing these games, you niggas playing into it. I hear that siren song coming, niggas facing the music, it goes.
So as you can see in here, like a lot of the blueprint and the foundation for Mind Over Matter is essentially there in Pink Panther. Keen wrote the hook and wrote the melody line for the main hook that I use in Mind Over Matter. You can hear remnants of the verse idea I had in Mind Over Matter with my Pink Panther verse. Most of these elements were still intact in Pink Panther that I brought over to Mind Over Matter. I felt like the song was just missing something. So, once the pandemic hit, I kind of had the song shelved, and I told Keen that I wanted to keep the song for something. I just didn't know what it was for yet. I felt like it was too good just to release as a single. I felt like it belonged to like a bigger project of some sorts, but I hadn't figured out what that project was yet. But that guitar line and bass line and all of the vocal ideas that we did just felt really special, and I just didn't know what exactly it was I was going to do with it, but I just figured I'd kind of let it simmer for a little bit. Now, it wasn't until I listened to Outkast Stankonia that I found the sound design instrumental inspiration that I've been looking for. It was certain songs that stood out to me, like So Fresh, So Clean, Snappin' and Trappin', I'll Call Before I Come, that had really unique, distinct synth lead lines. I was really drawn to the sound selection, especially for the lead synth lines on songs like So Fresh, So Clean, Snapping and Trapping, I'll Call Before I Come, that I felt really fit in the Swamp Walk world and in helping me like kind of finish out the Mind Over Matter track. Alright, now this is the session here. What we have here is just the guitars, bass, and the drums. We got a very simple kick, hi-hat, snare pattern. This is a synth plugin called Tyrell. It's got a bunch of cool presets, and I found this one called Audi Wow. I was searching for this very quirky, like wormy sounding synth to kind of capture the same vibe that those like Outkast songs that I had mentioned. Just listen to this and tell me if you feel like you hear this wormy sound. And wormy, bro, it's so wormy. And then I found this other preset from Arturia Collection Selena V2 called Brody Time. Wormy, bro, it's so wormy. Finding these sounds felt like naming that song that was on the tip of your tongue for years. I felt like once I found it, it just scratched a very particular itch and it made the song perfect in my mind. There are also some vocal stuff that me and Kian did from the Pink Panther demo that I ended up keeping in the final version of Mind Over Matter. Some of Kian's old vocals from the Pink Panther demo also were kept in.
I said mind over matter is a hard thing. The more you think about it. I said I feel it on a summer's night. The more I talk about it. Why? It's always over. It's always over when you pass your cars away. It's always over when you pass your cars away.
It's crazy going back to the old Pink Panther demo and hearing a lot of like the verse phrasing that I did that I kept in Mind Over Matter. It's a little hard to listen to the Pink Panther demo because you can hear a lot of like rushing in the delivery. Some of the vocal performance doesn't sound as settled in and lived in, I guess. The one thing I was really fixated and obsessed with were these really long drawn out feedbacks on like delays with the vocals. So I wanted to keep that from the Pink Panther demo and into Mind Over Matter.
I see it coming before it goes. I see the moment pass just like a ghost. I feel the quicksand sink. It's up to my nose. I can't even see what's above and the skies are below.
Listening back to the Pink Panther demo and playing Mind Over Matter back to back is really cool to hear how some of the ideas that I recorded years and years ago became more realized in the final version of Mind Over Matter. Obviously 5 to 6 years is a very long time to finish a song, and I learned my lesson there. But I think it's very important to remember that you can make something that you really like one day and hate it the next, or you can make something that you don't really care for too much one day and you start to warm up to it later. Whether or not you have these doubts or you're filled with confidence, you should just see the idea through and just finish that thought. If you end up really loving it or you end up really hating it, you either finish out the song or idea or whatever you're trying to make, or you will feel so passionate about what you did not like making at that moment that you'll try to go back and fix it. If you really care about it enough and it really means that much to you, it'll stay with you. Maybe not for 5 to 6 years, but it'll stay with you enough that it'll bother you to get up and do it. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons I learned from Mind Over Matter. I wanted to finish the song, I just didn't have that missing piece, and sometimes it just takes that kind of time. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back next week. I'm going to talk about Doze Off. Alright, take care.